Everything changed with one bold prediction that instantly sent basketball fans into a frenzy. LaVar Ball has done it again, and this time he is making a promise so massive that people cannot stop talking about it. He is already looking ahead to 2027, already talking about a championship, and the way he explained it left fans completely divided. Some laughed, some agreed, and others wondered if there was actually a hidden message behind his unbelievable confidence. But the biggest surprise was not the prediction itself. It was the wild comparison he used to explain why he believes LaMelo Ball is destined to reach the top. Before anyone could even process what they had just heard, the conversation exploded across social media, and suddenly everyone wanted to know what LaVar really meant. LaVar Ball has never been known for playing it safe. From the very beginning of his son's basketball journey, he built his reputation by making fearless statements that many people called impossible. Time after time, he made predictions that sounded outrageous in the moment, yet enough of them eventually came true that fans learned never to ignore him completely. That history is exactly why his latest comments grabbed so much attention almost instantly, because whether people agree with him or not, they know there is usually a bigger story hiding underneath his words. This latest interview started like a normal basketball discussion, but it quickly transformed into something much bigger. Instead of simply praising his youngest son, LaVar painted a picture of what he believes the next few seasons will look like. According to him, LaMelo is on a path toward something special, and the championship window is already beginning to open. That alone would have been enough to make headlines. But LaVar was only getting started. Then came the comparison that nobody expected. Instead of choosing another flashy point guard or legendary scorer, LaVar pointed toward one of the NBA's most emotional competitors, Draymond Green. At first, many listeners were confused. After all, LaMelo and Draymond play completely different styles of basketball. One is known for dazzling passes and creative offense, while the other built his legacy through defense, leadership, intensity, and doing the dirty work that rarely shows up in highlight reels. So why would LaVar connect those two names together? His explanation immediately sparked debate. LaVar suggested that certain personalities naturally connect on the basketball court because they understand each other's mentality. In his view, players who share that relentless competitive fire create chemistry that cannot easily be taught. He even claimed that whenever LaMelo is around competitors with that same fearless attitude, everything begins to click. That is where his Draymond Green analogy entered the conversation. And suddenly, fans started replaying every word. Some supporters believed LaVar was talking about basketball IQ more than physical skills. Others thought he was describing leadership, confidence, and the willingness to embrace pressure when the biggest moments arrive. A different group believed he was simply creating another unforgettable headline, something he has mastered for years. No matter which side people landed on, one thing became impossible to deny. Everyone was talking about it. The discussion quickly spread beyond LaMelo himself. Analysts began asking whether the young star has finally reached the stage where expectations should shift from individual highlights to championship conversations. For years, fans admired his flashy passes, deep shooting range, and creative playmaking. But talent alone never guarantees postseason glory. And that is where opinions started colliding. Critics questioned whether LaMelo has proven enough to justify such enormous expectations. Injuries have interrupted key stretches of his career, and team success has remained difficult to sustain. Those concerns are impossible to ignore. Yet LaVar dismissed every bit of doubt with the same confidence that has defined him for years. In his mind, setbacks are temporary, while greatness is inevitable. That confidence only became stronger when he started looking toward 2027 instead of focusing on the present. Rather than talking about small improvements, LaVar skipped several chapters of the story and jumped straight to the ending, a championship celebration. That timeline instantly raised eyebrows because predicting a title years in advance is something very few people would ever dare to do. Yet LaVar delivered it as though the outcome had already been decided. Fans immediately split into two camps. One side argued that confidence is exactly what elite athletes need surrounding them. The other believed these enormous expectations could place unnecessary pressure on LaMelo before the journey is even complete. And that disagreement kept growing with every passing hour. But just when everyone thought they understood where the conversation was going, another layer started emerging, and it completely changed how people interpreted LaVar's words. The deeper fans looked into the interview, the more they realized this was about far more than a single prediction. LaVar appeared to be describing a long-term vision rather than chasing an attention-grabbing quote. In his eyes, championship teams are not built overnight. They are shaped through experience, adversity, and the ability to stay together when expectations become overwhelming. That perspective immediately shifted the discussion from flashy headlines to the bigger picture surrounding LaMelo's future. Many observers started examining where LaMelo stands in his career today. His talent has never been questioned, but the next challenge is transforming spectacular individual performances into consistent winning basketball. Every elite player eventually reaches the moment when statistics are no longer enough. The conversation becomes about leadership, accountability, and delivering victories when everything is on the line. That is exactly where many believe LaMelo is heading. As the debate intensified, fans began comparing his path with other young superstars who needed several seasons before finally breaking through. History has shown that development rarely follows a straight line. Setbacks often arrive before success, and championship contenders usually grow through painful lessons rather than instant glory. Those examples gave supporters fresh reasons to believe LaVar's confidence might not be as unrealistic as it first sounded. Still, plenty of skeptics remained unconvinced. They argued that predicting a championship years in advance ignores countless variables that can reshape an NBA franchise overnight. A single injury, a blockbuster trade, unexpected roster changes, or the rise of another powerhouse can completely alter the landscape. Basketball moves fast, and no blueprint stays untouched for long. That uncertainty became one of the strongest arguments against LaVar's bold timeline. Yet one fascinating detail continued to stand out. Instead of focusing on awards, scoring titles, or individual recognition, LaVar kept steering the conversation back toward team success. That choice caught many listeners off guard because it suggested he believes LaMelo's greatest achievement will come through elevating everyone around him rather than chasing personal milestones. For a player celebrated for creativity and court vision, that message carried extra weight. Around the basketball world, reactions poured in from every direction. Some fans praised LaVar for believing in his son without hesitation, saying every family should stand behind each other with that level of confidence. Others felt his comments created expectations so enormous that every future season would now be judged against a championship promise, making every setback appear even bigger than it otherwise would have been. Neither side seemed willing to back down. The conversation soon expanded beyond LaMelo and began touching on the modern NBA itself. Building a title contender has become more difficult than ever. Front offices must balance contracts, player development, chemistry, coaching, and health while competing against organizations loaded with all-star talent. Even teams packed with elite players can fall short, proving that raw ability alone rarely decides who lifts the trophy. That reality made LaVar's certainty even more fascinating. Meanwhile, supporters pointed toward LaMelo's unique style as a reason for optimism. His vision allows him to create opportunities that few guards even attempt, and his confidence has never disappeared. Despite injuries and constant scrutiny, those qualities often separate stars from true franchise leaders. but only time can reveal whether they translate into championship success. Every season from this point forward will add another piece to that puzzle. The most interesting twist, however, may have nothing to do with predictions at all. LaVar has always understood how powerful belief can be. Whether people call his statements motivation, strategy, or pure confidence, they inevitably place a spotlight on his sons before the games even begin. And once that spotlight appears, expectations rise with it. Some athletes shrink under that pressure, while others use it as fuel to reach another level entirely. That raises the biggest question of all. Is LaVar simply speaking his dream into existence, or is he challenging LaMelo to become the player capable of making those words look prophetic years from now? The answer cannot be found in interviews or headlines. It will be written on the court, possession by possession, season after season, until the moment arrives when the basketball world discovers whether this unforgettable prediction becomes another impossible promise, or the statement everyone wishes they had believed from the very beginning. Even with all the excitement surrounding LaVar's words, one reality remains impossible to escape. Championships are earned through relentless consistency, not bold predictions. Every franchise dreaming about the NBA Finals believes its future is bright, yet only a handful survive the brutal journey that unfolds each season. That is why the road ahead for LaMelo carries so much intrigue. Every performance from now on will be viewed through the lens of a championship expectation that has already been placed on his shoulders. Pressure has a strange way of revealing greatness. Some players become cautious when the spotlight grows brighter, while others embrace the challenge and unlock another level of confidence. Throughout his career, LaMelo has never appeared afraid of taking risks. Whether it is a daring pass through traffic, a deep three-pointer without hesitation, or a creative play that leaves defenders frozen, his game has always been built on fearless instincts. And that fearless approach could become one of the defining factors in the years ahead. Of course, talent alone cannot carry a team through 4 grueling playoff rounds. Championship contenders depend on chemistry, trust, and players accepting roles that sometimes require personal sacrifice. That is where LaVar's comments about competitive personalities continue to spark conversation. Winning teams often develop an identity that goes beyond statistics, creating a culture where every player understands exactly what must be done when the pressure reaches its highest point. If that culture ever forms around LaMelo, the entire conversation could look very different. Another factor that cannot be overlooked is experience. Nearly every legendary champion endured painful postseason disappointments before finally reaching the summit. Those defeats became lessons rather than endings, shaping decision-making, resilience, and mental toughness for the moments that mattered most. If LaMelo follows a similar path, every setback could eventually become part of a much bigger story. The front office will also play a massive role. Surrounding a franchise player with the right supporting cast requires difficult decisions, careful planning, and sometimes bold moves that completely reshape a roster. One successful offseason can transform an average team into a legitimate contender, while one mistake can delay championship hopes for years. That uncertainty is exactly why predicting the future is so complicated. Then there is the competition itself. The NBA landscape changes almost every season as new stars emerge. Established veterans chase one more title, and unexpected teams suddenly rise into contention. Momentum shifts quickly, meaning no organization can afford to stand still for long. Every improvement made by one franchise forces every rival to respond, creating an endless race that never truly slows down. Through all of this, LaVar remains remarkably consistent. His confidence has never depended on public opinion, television debates, or social media reactions. He speaks with complete conviction regardless of whether people cheer or criticize him. And that unwavering belief has become one of the defining characteristics of the Ball family story. Love him or disagree with him, he continues to command attention every time he steps in front of a microphone. As fans continue debating his latest prediction, the only thing that truly matters will happen inside the arena, not inside interviews. Every assist, every victory, every playoff battle, and every defining moment will gradually reveal whether this championship vision was realistic or simply another unforgettable chapter in LaVar Ball's long history of fearless declarations. Until then, the basketball world will keep watching, keep arguing, and keep waiting for the answer. Because if 2027 arrives and LaMelo is standing on the biggest stage with a chance to make history, this interview will instantly be remembered in a completely different light. And that possibility alone is enough to keep this conversation alive for years to come. As the debate continues, one thing has become crystal clear. LaVar Ball has once again managed to shift the spotlight toward the future before the next chapter has even been written. Whether his prediction ultimately proves accurate or not, it has already accomplished something few interviews ever achieve. It has everyone imagining what the league could look like several seasons from now. That kind of anticipation keeps fans invested long before the opening tip of a new campaign. For LaMelo, the opportunity is now simple to define but incredibly difficult to achieve. Every season offers another chance to improve, build stronger chemistry with teammates, stay healthy, and prove that his style of basketball can translate into sustained winning. None of those goals can be reached overnight. Each one demands patience, discipline, and the ability to respond when adversity inevitably arrives. Those are the qualities that separate exciting young stars from players whose names become permanently attached to championship history. The reaction from fans also reveals something larger about modern sports culture. Bold predictions spread faster than ever, opinions form within minutes, and every statement is immediately dissected from countless different angles. Some people celebrate confidence, others dismiss it as unrealistic, and many simply enjoy watching the debate unfold. That constant conversation has become part of the entertainment surrounding today's NBA, where every interview can create headlines that last for days. Still, there is one detail nobody can deny. LaVar has never lacked belief in his family, and he has never allowed outside criticism to change the way he speaks about their future. That unwavering confidence has remained consistent through victories, setbacks, injuries, and every twist along the way, making it one of the most recognizable aspects of the Ball family's story. Whether people agree with his approach or not, his commitment has never appeared to waver. Now the responsibility shifts back to the court, where predictions mean nothing until they are backed by results. Every game from this point forward becomes another opportunity for LaMelo to move one step closer to the vision his father described. Every playoff appearance adds another layer to his legacy, and every challenge offers another chance to silence doubters who believe the championship dream is still too far away. Only time will decide which side of the argument was right. Maybe 2027 becomes the year that validates one of LaVar Ball's boldest forecasts. Or maybe the journey takes an entirely different direction that nobody can predict today. That uncertainty is exactly what makes sports so captivating, because the next unforgettable moment is always waiting just around the corner. And now the question goes to you. Do you believe LaVar Ball's championship prediction will actually come true? Or is this another case of confidence running ahead of reality? Share your thoughts in the comments. And if you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss the next huge update from the world of basketball.